Introduction Dream: the work God has given me and His confirmation dream. I will share this video in the following languages: English and Russian. The countries mentioned in this dream are USA and Russia. Greetings everyone, and God bless. My name is Marcos, and today I'd like to share to you guys why I'm starting this channel and what I will use it for. Throughout my life, I've been learning and still learn foreign languages. I know that the Lord has given me this gift for His glory to reach other brothers and sisters in Christ who speak other languages. On August 12, 2021, while in intensive prayer, the Lord gave me the idea of using my YouTube channel to share some dreams and words that He has given me for some years now. And for some time, I've been asking Him for guidance because I knew that I had been learning languages for a reason. I knew that He was going to use me, but I didn't know for what. So on August 12 of 2021, after He gave me the idea, I prayed about it and told Him that if this is what He wanted me to do, that He could please confirm it to me personally. Because I don't want to do things all of a sudden, especially when it is something as important as God's work. That night, the devil himself came to me in a dark smoke and began to spur out threats against my family, my life, and he even threatened me that he was gonna steal the things that God has given me to learn languages. I turned to my right and I saw Jesus in a white robe smiling at me. Then I smiled back at him and understood that the reason why the devil was attacking me was because Jesus was letting this happen. And the reason was because the devil was attacking me because he didn't want me to do what God told, the idea that God had given me. So I knew that this was a confirmation. But when I woke up in the midnight, and I felt scared and I still felt an evil presence around. So I rebuked the devil in the name of Jesus, and after he went away, I went back to sleep. Then immediately I had another dream, and this time there was more detail and personal meaning. Like it was more like a detail of more detail than the first dream. In this other dream, I was at my house, and there were these demonic entities, and they were messing with us, and they were like blocking us from going to places, and they were also trying to trap us in sin. So I started to fight with them, and I rebuked them, and they went away. But when they tried to come back, I escaped them. And then after that part, I find myself in a fancy restaurant, and I know that there's a family gathering in that restaurant, and I see that my mom and my aunt are they're trying to prepare the meals and the plates, and they're trying to be as perfect, because in the dream, like, our family had, and we were expecting this gathering for a long time, so it was like something very important for the family. So, but the thing is that when we sat down to eat, these demons came and started to mess everything. They started to pick up plates and throw them. They started to pull the mantle of the table, and all the food went flying. So, and after that, my mom and my aunt started to fight those things, but they couldn't fight them, and we were very frustrated because we wanted the meal to go perfectly well. It was like something very serious. And then after that, I find myself and this time I'm outdoors, and I find myself walking on a white wooden bridge, and I realized that I was inside a building complex. That it was like like a block of a city, and in that block there were apartment buildings. There were like parks, attractions. There were fancy restaurants like the one that I went before, but this time now there was also an airport in the complex, like a international airport. And I was walking on this bridge, and I heard the voice of the Lord and my family, and they were calling me from a place in the building complex. And in the dream, I'm determined to go to where that voice is calling me to go. But I see that in the distance, all these demonic entities, they started to go against me. Like, I'm talking about more than 20 of them. And there were like dozens of these things. And they looked like cartoon characters, but they were like small, like 2 feet tall maybe. And some of them looked like they had like crayon colors, so they were like childish. They looked childish, but I knew what they were. And some of them looked like snakes or Mayan deities, like the Mayan Indians. And these things when I started to run to where the voice called me, they started to group at my right and left, but they couldn't touch me. And I knew that all they were permitted to do was to block me as much as possible, so I didn't get to where I should have gone. So I was still running, and I was trying to fight them and trying to evade them. And finally I went to the place, and the voice was calling me from I appeared at the roof of the airport, at the airport terminal, but like sitting at the top of the airport, like at the roof. And it was a very high structure, and I could see down towards the parking lot. And alright, I looked to the ground, and I saw some cars in the parking lot. And when I looked behind me, all the evil entities were surrounding me on my back. They were like, because I was like on the edge of the roof, and they were surrounding me so that there was no way out for me. But they couldn't touch me. They just stayed there, and they tried to persuade me and convince me that I shouldn't like go beyond that I shouldn't jump the roof, because if I jump the roof, like, they wouldn't get me. But the thing is that I look at the parking lot, and when I keep looking beyond, I see that there's a huge metal gate that separates the whole complex from the airport's runway. And I see that it's like there was a big stainless steel metal gate, and I saw a plane that was preparing for liftoff. And when I saw it, I had this feeling of joy and happiness, because I understood in my spirit that the gate represented death, and the runway, right, and those who passed the gate of death, like, they would go to heaven. And these demons didn't want me to jump off the roof, because I knew that if I jumped, instead of falling down, I would fly and I would go through the gate and to heaven. But and yeah, um, so this time it was my turn to make a decision whether I stayed or I left to heaven. And when I saw the gate, I immediately asked the Lord in my spirit, and I asked him, Lord, am I really this close to death or heaven? And the reason why I asked him is because when I saw that, I was filled with a lot of hope, and I felt in my spirit that it was a very short time before I passed the gate, right before I died. So I asked him, like, because I couldn't believe, like, am I really this close to death, right? But I wasn't scared because I knew that no matter what happens, I was going to heaven. So, before I jumped, because I was determined to go to heaven, and I already made my decision, I turned to those demons, and I knew that they couldn't do anything, and I looked at them, and I told them in a sarcastic manner, I told them that I would miss them. And when I told them that, they were so enraged because they knew that they couldn't touch me, but no matter how much they tried to convince me and change my mind, they knew that I was going there and they could not stop me. And after that, and before I jumped, I looked down and I saw this. Before I did that, I looked at them and with authority I told them, come here. So they came to me slowly, and I looked down at the cars at the parking lot and I saw a white van, and the white van had it was decorated in the Russian flag, and it looked like a police van because it had some lights and sirens, and it was going very slowly in the parking lot trying to look for somebody. And I told them, I went to those entities, I told them, you see this van? And they said yes. And then I told them, that's Russia, and you guys represent America. One day that van will kidnap you guys, put you in prison, and kill all of you, so you better watch out. And then I smiled at them in victory and said goodbye, and I could hear their shouts of frustration because they knew that they couldn't mess with me any longer. So after that, I jumped off the roof of the airport and I began to fly, and I flew through the gate and went to heaven. And I remember that it's so weird because when that happened, and after that I woke up, but right when that happened and I was like flying, I've never heard music in a dream before, but I could actually hear, and I woke up hearing like an orchestra music, like very a very strong orchestra music, but I knew it was from heaven, like it was a victory. And after that I woke up. So alright guys, so now I know that I know the work that the Lord has given me, and in this channel, this YouTube channel, I'm gonna share what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna share some dreams related to countries that the Lord has shown me, or dreams that in which countries are depicted. And what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna share those dreams in the languages of those countries, right? Or at least I'm gonna try to translate them and read them. So the videos are gonna be I'm gonna read them, right? So in the next video, I'm gonna share a word that God gave me for Estonia, and I'm gonna share it in English and Estonian. So God bless you guys. See you next time.